What's going on, YouTube? Back here in the indoor grow room again, and well, I think I'm long overdue for getting some of these guys planted out. Got a pile of these guys, a bunch of them. Who is this? Ahi mango. Got a pile of ahi mango in here. They're all got true leaves on them. It's way overdue that these guys should have been replanted. And figured I might as well go ahead and plant them out. And who else do I have here? Ahi jabito. Got 7 in each cup, so I need 6 more cups each. Figured I would go ahead and I got all my tools ready. Got my sprayer. I got my marker so I can mark the cups. And I've got my little crab claw tool, or crab tool for whenever you're eating crab. I'm not exactly sure what this side's for, like picking away at it or whatever, but this side is for like reaching in and scooping the meat out of the claw and everything. I find this is really, really good for replanting little guys like this. Another thing that I love is, you've seen in the past my big plastic containers that I've got. A couple of them, I cut 12 holes in there, and if you just put your cups in, you can actually transport 12 different cups all at one time. And if you're careful when you set them down, they don't fall over and make a mess all over your carpet. But I find that's pretty easy that way. One thing I will mention is, oh man, this one's a little low on soil. I need to fill that one back up. Alright, oh, this one's a little low too. What the heck's going on? This one is too. Jeez, oh man. Alright, well, these ones over here are low because I was running low on my half-decent soil that I made. And I had to mix up some new stuff with, well, I'll just be honest, some garbage that I had in the garage. As I've said many times, I'm using, well, I can't even get to my master blend over there, and it's empty anyway, but I'm using master blend, and it doesn't really matter what kind of stuff you use whenever you, I should correct that. What kind of soil that you use. This stuff is actually half decent. This was the good stuff that I ran out of. A bunch of perlite in there. Some other good stuff in there. Bone meal. And this stuff, the new stuff, I didn't put bone meal in because I figured why? It doesn't need it. But in my instance, it doesn't exactly matter what kind of soil you use because I'm feeding with master blend. Normally the soil is where it's going to get all its nutrients from. When you're using master blend, it's going to get the nutrients out of the master blend. So I'm going to go fill up these 3 cups real quick, and then I'm going to get to transplanting these guys out, and I'll have 12 more, actually, plus these 2, so 14 more peppers in here. But let me go fill these 3 up so I actually have a decent amount to start with, and we'll get this going. Alright, so I got my containers now filled up, and I'd use some of the not-so-great soil. So I guess I'm going to start off with the ahi mango, so I might as well mark my cups before I forget. Always do this first. We'll skip ahead, shall we? Alright, now got all the cups labeled, so we're good to go. And, well, to proceed, shall we? Move these jabitos out of the way. And so, why is your method any better? Well, this isn't a how-to. This is just how I do. I try never to do a how-to because I don't think anybody, definitely including myself, well, maybe other people, but definitely not myself, I do not know better than anybody else. So what I like to do after I've labeled my cups is I like to take my marker and just stuff that thing right down center of the cup. Very, very high tech here. Alright, so we've got 7 in here. I think I'm going to leave this guy right here because it's closest to the center. And I'm kind of weird like that, like everybody else. So I'm going to start with this nice little guy right here. And that's where this awesome tool comes in handy because it's like a very small shovel. And I like to, not you, man, you get out of the way. So what I like to do is just go in somewhat reasonably, I don't know if you can see that, but somewhat reasonably close to where the plant is. And just pretty much go down a decent amount. These guys are really leggy. They've always been leggy though. But I like to go down pretty decent amount and just kind of lift up a little bit and just slightly pulling on the plant itself. I don't want to pull on the plant. I just kind of want to like let it go. There, you can see the roots really aren't that deep. So that's good. So Why did you shove a marker in there? Because this is one way. I don't know if this is going to be a helpful tip for anybody. I don't even know if you can see that, can you? Okay. Kind of. It's not zoomed in or anything, but what I like to do is with my plant out, first off, I want to plant this thing probably to where my finger is, put all of that into the soil, just because it's so leggy. But, so actually I'm going to want to go a little bit deeper with my marker. So, what do I do now? Well, what I like to do is just kind of move my marker around like this. Normally, that would be good, and actually this looks like it would be good. I could go ahead and do it right like this. But what I've been finding is the easiest way is to take your plant and just kind of stick it in there, and then start moving your marker around again a little bit, and then pull your marker right out, close that soil right on in, and your plant is planted. It's just that easy. And then you just do this a whole pile of different times, and usually that does it. But whenever you have really dry soil, it wants to cave in on itself, and that's why when you do the circular motion, and while you're just kind of barely putting a little bit of pressure on the plant, on the stem itself, not pushing it down, but just kind of like letting it guide itself down, the circular motion just tends to pull the roots right down in. So now, all I have to do is do this over and over and over again until I get all of these little guys right on out of here. And like I said, there's like 7 in every single one of these cups. And with this cool little shovel looking tool, you can kind of feel, as long as you're holding on to the plant, like right now, I'm not pulling on it at all, but I'm feeling that the roots are way down further than I am trying to go. So, oh, there we go. Got right underneath the roots. Bang. Why? Look, that's why, because it has all that extra roots there. So, just make this a little bit deeper. Do a little circular action. It's trying to cave in on itself. I'm actually kind of compacting the soil right now. So, we'll just put this guy in here, and yep, as you do your little circular motion, it's just kind of going right down into the soil, and bang, you've got your plant already planted. It's just that simple. So all I gotta do is do that about 6 more, no, that is 2, so 4 more times. We're good to go. Actually, I think I'm gonna go, oh look at that, I didn't even have to do anything with this guy. Perfect. Trying never to touch the roots like that. But yeah, that's all I've been doing. But I have been talking about this method for quite a while. I've been needing to replant these guys for quite a while, so I figured what the heck, go ahead and make a video, and it's not going to be very long anyway, because look, I'm already halfway done with this entire cup. But I love this marker method. It just works out really, really good, and I don't know why I never came up with it before. Probably just never thought of it, but it's been working out really, really good for me, as well as this awesome tool. I'm sure, I know they sell them at, around here. I live at the beach, so actually let me get that guy last. Or not last, but not next. I don't know about where you live, maybe, possibly, like around here. Or no, I guess where I grew up in Pittsburgh, they actually had lobsters in the tank at the grocery store. And wherever you have any kind of seafood that's sold, they usually will have these little tools. And like I said, it just looks like a little tiny shovel on the side. Look at the root growth on that guy. Way to go, little guy. So this guy's going to need to be planted a lot deeper than the rest. Trying to get those roots all the way down, too, which is what that circular motion happens to do. When all this dirt is starting to cave in, it just tends to just push the roots right down into the cup. And if you're careful enough, you're not squashing the roots or anything, which I'm sure I'm doing. But there we go, yet another one. Bang! We're like almost done here. Wait, here's some more right over here. Go for the ones that are already labeled, not the ones that are not labeled. That wouldn't be very good. And if you don't have a grocery store that sells like seafood and stuff like that, because like I said, it's been a long time since I've lived away from the beach, and I live at the beach where there's seafood all over the place. But I'm sure, like say your local dollar store or something like that, probably will have something of this nature. So hopefully that's a good little tip for you. Maybe I want to keep that guy right there. Nah, I want to replant all these guys anyway. Heck with it. And another thing is I love Master Blend. I'm always talking about Master Blend and everything. When I first transplant, again, if you watched one of my other videos, and I was talking about, I don't want to waste money because I'm cheap. One other thing that I will do is I try not to, whenever I transplant that is, I try not to go ahead and use Master Blend right at first, just because I'm cheap. And what I will do, with this, share some of this awesome soil with this other one. Probably throw in some extra ahi mango seeds in there, where I'm not going to know what those are, and then they're going to pop up, and I'm going to be like, wait, where did that come from? This is my mango, right? Yes, okay. But, oh, this one's, look, whenever you have the soil nice and wet, all you got to do is make a circular motion, and this guy can pretty much just go in the hole. But, like I said, I usually start off with a nice dry mix. But, like I was saying, is I won't use Master Blend on the very first guys that first transplants that I do. I'll just grab some water, and this water just so happens to be at room temperature. And since these guys were actually pretty long, I'm not even going to bother top watering. Normally I'll top water if they're very small. These ones, I'll just go ahead, and I know you guys have heard me talk in the past of like this line on the cup here, the second line up on the bottom. That's normally where I water to. When I transplant, I usually go, I don't know, about half that distance again above that line. And that's not good. Looks like there's some roots hanging down there. Maybe I did mess up some plants here. But, yeah, I think I meant to mention there. Hello, stop spraying. Stop, what are you doing? Here, spray into that one then. Here, you get this cup then. But yeah, I like my water also to be at room temperature, not cold. Especially if they're coming right off of a heat mat, which those guys over there are, which I'm not transplanting them yet because they are very, very small. But I try to keep my water at room temperature, so that means I just fill up my spray bottle the night before, and then I'll just water the next day. That way they had all night to go ahead and acclimate to, or for the water to acclimate to the room temperature, and that's it. So that should be good for that guy. And I already showed the little spinny method that I do sometimes whenever the soil is really, really dry. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. Like right now, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and let that soak in. Might take overnight or anything like that, and it doesn't matter. I've got all kind of time. These guys may not, but that's how you find out if you got a good plant or not. They can't handle that kind of abuse. They probably won't handle the kind of abuse that I'm going to hand out to them. So that's probably about good. Sure, I'll just go ahead and get these guys moved into their new little habitat, if you will. And I just go ahead and keep on doing that over and over and over again until I finally get all of these guys watered. And again, I'm only doing it this way because these guys are so long. These ones I'm not really sure about how long they're going to be. But then again, they've been very small and compact ever since they popped up. So they probably have the same amount of roots or maybe more. But, ooh, hey, the sprayer stopped working, or started working. Beautiful. All right, that guy back in there. This guy. A couple more to go. Pump that sprayer. And I don't know if, well, hello little dog. I don't know if you have a broken, I don't know if it's really broken, but one of these goofy sprayers like I have, one of these little pump sprayers, but mine does not really act correctly. Sometimes when you let up on the nozzle like I just did, it continues to spray. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes, even though you do that, for some reason, got old roots in there. Yeah, these cups are sterilized. Look at that old leaf. You didn't see nothing. But But yeah, one other thing that I found with these pump sprayers is mine tends to have a little buildup of air pressure in there, and the relief, or whatever, the nozzle dealy thingy there, doesn't take all the pressure off. So one thing that I've found that I've been doing with this is whenever I'm done using the sprayer, I will go ahead and open, I'll show you here in a second, I'll open this thing up to relieve all the air off of it so it doesn't leak, because I found that it'll leak right out of the nozzle. And I found that out because I set it on my kitchen counter and came back in like 4 minutes and thought, why is there water all over the kitchen counter? And here, sprayer leaked all over the counter. So, and that's about good. Alright, there we go. I like to open that thing up, take all the pressure off of there. That way, it's good. I'm going to put these guys right back underneath here. Oops. Oh, man. Get another one in there. Or actually, I'm going to get this guy in the back corner. There we go. Much better. Move these guys back here. Those guys can all stay there. Now all I got to do is all these 6 guys. So I'm going to get to that. I think you've already seen the process, so I don't think you need to see any more. So we'll go ahead and pause right here. Only 6 more to go. Figure what the heck, I turn the camera on. What the heck. No big deal. Another thing, whenever you have a wet cup and you're trying to scoop out of your bucket of awesome dirt that you have in the garage, you get all this dirt built up on the outside. You kind of want to pop that down into the reservoir cup, only because then your cup won't actually seat all the way, and whenever you put a nice low amount of water in there, it won't actually seat all the way in there, and then it'll get all hung up and your plant won't get any water. But I figure, look at that, man. Look, these guys have better roots than the other ones, and they're low and compact. So, and these are the Jobito. I looked at it like as if it says it on there. It doesn't. It's on the inner cup. That's another great tech tip for you, is to go ahead and label if you're doing the double cup method, and you like to reuse, I didn't even mark these guys, we're going to have to leave these over here then, and then you like to reuse your cups year after year like I do, because I'm cheap. Another great thing is try not to put as many things all over it. Like this was a daisy cutter at one time, it was also a St. Thomas Bane, the inner cup was a caramel maruga, and that's it. But it is very smart to label your inner cup. The outer cup, not so much. You don't really have to. And another thing, that's why I turned the camera back on, because I was realizing while I was digging around in there, if you mess with some of the roots, you really feel it when you're digging around with this little tool. You'll feel that little like cut kind of motion that happens inside. It makes you feel really crappy inside because you know you're messing up one of your plants. But you will feel that. So that's another little awesome, it's like Tech Tip Friday here on a, well, maybe this video will come out on a Friday, so then it'll be accurate. But I just started feeling that with these guys because these guys have awesome roots. Look at this, man. These ahi mango, or Jobito here. The mangoes, not so much. They were long and leggy. But these Jobitos, they've just got some really, really good roots. And I've heard other people, well, I also will grab them by the leaves here. But I've heard other people, I forget who I was hearing that from, JT, I think? Somebody, about trying not to get your roots where you just kind of stuff them down in and the roots kind of curve back up, so they want to like grow back towards the surface. And that's another reason I found this marker method works really good. because it just kind of, I don't know what it is. Like whenever you're going around and around, I guess it's the cave-in motion of the dirt just kind of forces the roots to follow the marker right down. But let's go with you there, little buddy. I didn't feel any roots breaking there. And I also like to do a motion like parallel with the stem and go straight down and just kind of feel about where I think it is at the bottom of the plant and kind of just give it a little upward motion a little bit and then just come back out and move over a little bit, do the same thing. I know it doesn't look like I'm doing that, but I'm kind of doing it underneath. But, and if you hold it by the leaves, you know when you're, when you're putting way too much pressure on it, like trying to yank it out. I think it just broke a root right there. But you know when you're, whoa, that's why. Look at these roots. Jeez, oh man. That is nice root growth right there for a little tiny little guy. But, yeah, you'll feel the, let's see here. Come on, get down in there. Yeah, love that cave-in action. Oh, it's not really working good. Come on. There we go. Perfect. And I also like to pat them down a little bit too. But yeah, I like to dig around a little bit, and you'll feel it where these little guys are. What was I saying there with the digging around method, holding them by the leaves? If you are yanking up, which is not the idea, you're just kind of trying to use the tool to move the soil around to where they just kind of fall out of the soil. And again, to get them separated, oh, I didn't even have to do it. Get them separated, all I had to do with that one was just kind of move one to one side, and they just kind of separated on their own. There we go. This guy, give him a little pat down there. Hey, not like that. And got 2 more to go. 1 more in a new cup and 1 in the original. So here we go. On the side. Yeah, let it cave in. Come on. I'll let you go down. There we go. I got it all down. There we go. Cool. And the original, which is now way over here on the side. Just go ahead. Plus, one other awesome little thing to note is by doing this method with the original cup, which is the cup I'm working in right now, trying to get this last little guy out, you're also fluffing up the soil. So it's not all compact from all those first couple waterings that you were doing. Dropping all this soil right down into, or compacting the soil. Now it's kind of loosening it up, and now it's all light and fluffy and airy and everything like that. Give that guy a little bit of soil there. And again, this was one I just watered the other day. Bang! Just form a nice little hole. Feed your little guy into the hole. Oh, he's happy. And there you go. Done. I didn't mark these cups, so I need to mark all of these ahi jabito, except for this guy. It's already done. Right. Jabito. Perfect. And we are good to go. And again, no top watering at all. I'm not going to do that at all. And some of them are going to hang over like that. They're not going to look very good for the first couple of days because they're not happy. They don't like it when they get a new home. So go ahead, pump this sucker up. Yeah, look at me pump. But yep, just gonna water with regular water, and probably in about probably a little more than a week. I was gonna say a week though, but probably a little bit longer than a week. That will be time to go ahead and start feeding some Master Blend. And once that time comes around, look at that. Get some of this dirt all off of there. I hate when the dirt is all on the outside of the cup. You can tell because it gets all gritty and everything too. But Yeah, this one too. Yeah, getting that cooked. But yeah, I'm not going to feed with Master Blend because who knows if they're going to make it. I might have just totally transplant shocked the heck out of them. So I like to be on the safe side. Oh, that's right. Or wait, no, this one's labeled already. We got 2, 6. Okay, these guys all have to stay out until I mark them, which I should have done in the first place. There's your lesson. Watch what I do and don't do what I do. Oh, this one's Jabito. Dang it. Okay, you can go in. You got to come back out. These all need to be labeled. But don't forget to label. From somebody who has forgotten to label plants so many times over the years. You don't want to be that guy. You want to be that guy laughing in the comments when someone says, I forgot to label them. You can be like, ha ha, man. Not laugh at them. Laugh at the situation because you know that you've done that before. You don't want to be that guy. Trust me. I've laughed way too many times at the situation, not the people, because people forgot to label their plants. And I've done it many, many times. So many times that I should not be doing that anymore. Let's go ahead and drop some of this stuff. Put this guy over here, because that needs a Javito label. This guy. Cup ready. Pump it. Yeah. Wow, that was a lot of water I used. It really is. How big is this thing? 1.75 liters. 75 liters, what's that, a half gallon? And I've not labeled a lot of plants. I'll admit it. You guys might not want to admit it, but if you've watched my videos in the past, you know that I screw up a lot, and it's usually on my YouTube channel. Kind of as a, look what I did, you can laugh at me because I'm laughing at myself. Try not to do this because it was a stupid mistake kind of thing. 2 more to go after this one. This guy needs some dirt off of it. I hate when the dirt gets all over the inner cup. And these ones had some pretty decent roots, so I'm only going to about the same amount of water level on them as well. I really like this pump sprayer, but like I was saying, this nozzle just screws up so much. Whether it's not turning off, it's usually like when I first fill it up and the thing is mostly full, which you should always leave an air gap at the very top of this pump sprayer. Like, I don't think I've ever filled up, it's got little indentations here. I don't see how it's dripping. That's the air pressure still in there. I don't think I've ever filled up above these air dots, which I believe it said in the instructions. I don't know, I've had this thing for many, many moons now. Oh, this one has some dirt all over it too. Better clean that off. Perfect. Now my marker won't stick. And then it'll rub off, and then I'll be that guy in the comments going, I can't remember what this one is, but I remember I planted it. Cool, the last one seems to be okay. Cool. So, just a couple more sprays here, and my last one will be done. All I need to do is label these 6 over here, and these guys are ready to go underneath the light, and we are ready to grow. Actually, I don't know why this is like that. Let's keep those guys apart. Actually, I need to move that a little bit and move my lights up. I wasn't paying attention. Take the air off. Bang. Sweet. Chopitos. Move my lights over. That's the cool thing about using wire for these, is you can move them nice and easily. How many do I have? Oh, okay, I do have 2. So let's move that back. Probably gonna have to jack up my lights a little bit. Don't forget to label your cups. What the heck? Just take all the air pressure off of that. There we go. My habanero over there is dead. Hear how it's all gritty? Here, pop that cap out. Hear how it's all gritty? There you go. That's why. Because it's got all this dirt all over the side of the cup. And it doesn't want to seat fully. So all that water I put in isn't going to get to the plant. That's why I was saying clean off your cup. But if you move it around, kind of like that, kind of twisting it, right now the water on the inside cup's probably up to about here. Not a big deal. It'll go back down. Put you over here. Yeah, that was good. Chopito. That was really horrible writing, but that's the only kind I do, so rock on. And yeah, so always label your cups before you even transplant. That way you don't even have to go through what I just went through. And that is just about it. So I know I didn't do an update here on all of these guys last week, and as you can see, I've got quite a few more, and including, I can't see them, but I've got a whole pile back there. I think those are all ahi pineapple, and there's like another 6 in there. So I will be doing another update of these guys probably this weekend, especially because those guys are over there, and you can't see them either, but they actually have buds all over them, and they're only about this tall. So that was it. That was me in here popping out some plants that were all together. Actually, I do have another cup. You want to see something? You want to have some more fun? See if I can screw something up? This will be fun. Alright, so, you know my... that's a leaf from one of the bigger plants. So you've seen my double cup ahi ahi, what the heck is Rob's favorite? Ahi lemon drop. I've got 2 of them in here, and I've got roots sticking out of the bottom. Alright, you want to play Mission Impossible? You think I can get one of these guys out and transplant him? I'm guessing the smaller one. We'll use this one right here where there was a habanero that's no longer alive. Only habanero I had come up. Is this thing even recording? Oh, jeez, oh man. Figured the thing would be annoyed with me by now and just shut off. I was sick of hearing me talk, so why wouldn't it? Alright, let's see. No, okay. I was going to say these guys are already budding, but they're not. Got smaller plants than these guys that are already budding. Alright, let me see if I can use my handy little tool and get one of these guys out. I'm going to leave the bigger one in here, which I believe, I really can't tell. Okay, we'll take notice of all the roots there, and I'm going to try to pull one of them out, and we'll see if, yeah, let's see, because I think this one guy has a lot of those roots. Oops, I was about to use my fork. Let's see if I can get this out of the way. Let me see if I can feel my way down in there a little bit. Okay, right around. You want to come? Probably should have, am I on the bottom of the cup? No. Must be hitting a piece of the, I got this really crappy soil. It's got like mulch in it and stuff like that. I'm not hurting anybody's roots here. Let's see if I can get in there. Ooh, dang, that was it right there. Okay. As I've said, I'm not yanking on the plant or anything. I'm actually just trying to loosen the soil up to where it just kind of wants to slide out. Oh, oh, oh. Are you coming? Quite possibly. Maybe. A little bit? Oh no. Are you? I hope I didn't break any roots. This is why I'm not going to try to transplant the other one out of there. Hey, move your leaf. I'm trying to rip your leaf off. Yeah, get all the way to the bottom. Got all the way to the bottom. Come on, let me just undouble cup it for a second, just in case some of those roots down low are its. Heyo! Look at that. Let me get this guy out of the way. Tap, tap, tap. Get some of this dirt off. Look at that. Look at that, man. Perfect. Let me set this guy right over here. Well, I double check. Roots are still there. That does not mean those roots belong to that guy. They might have belonged to that guy laying down over there. But, good enough. Give it a little pat down here, make sure soil is a little pat down and stuff. Hey, why did that guy need water? Because there's grit in the cup, that's why. Alright, last one. This gigantic ahi lemon drop. I need to make sure I label this cup. And this one I'm going to have to be a little more mindful of the roots. There we go. Actually, I might go get a little more soil for that one too. That way, as you can see, I don't know if you can see in there, but this one's only full up to about like right there. So yeah, it's labeled as a hob. Mark that off, and it's not a yellow brain strain either. It's ahi lemon. Oops. I-E-M-O-N. Alright, I'm gonna go get some more soil for this guy, but that's it. We just transplanted, what, 12, 13, well, technically 15 plants. So it's just that easy. That's my method that I use. Don't know if that's helpful for anybody else, but it's been helpful for me. So all you need is a marker to label your cups and to shove in the center, move it around and everything, and a little crab tool, which is awesome. I love this thing. It's one of my favorite things, and you can find them at a dollar store or at a grocery store or whatever for, I don't know, 4 or 6 pack for like $2 or something like that. So that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me. I don't even know if this camera's still recording. Hey, it is. That's great. But yeah, that's it on my method here of how I like to transplant some of my plants. And I'm going to go get some more soil into this one, kind of put it up here center of the cup a little bit, fill it up with some soil, compact it back down. Then I will go ahead and give it some water, and it should be good to grow. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back over here in the big plant section. Probably bring these lights up and everything a little bit. And make sure a lot of these cups that I watered actually have the water getting into the cup. This guy's really, look at this guy. He's not liking life so much. But that's what they'll look like as soon as you transplant them. They're only going to, you know, as soon as they wake up, they're just kind of in a little nap time right now. But as soon as they wake up, they're just going to like pop right up and say, light, I like the light, and go straight for the light. So there you go. That's it. I don't want to call it a how-to. Like I said before, it's not a how-to. It's just how I do. So, yeah. Make sure you, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. I'll come back. I'll show you all of this other stuff. Here, we'll just turn you a little bit. And you can see all this other stuff, like all of these pods that are popping off of this one right over here. Tons and tons and tons of pods all over the place. Look at that, man. Pods everywhere. It's been sucking down the water like crazy. I need to mix up some new master blend and make sure that you know, that's ready to go. Some of these other plants back there, they really need to, if you think this is really impressive, it's not. Those little ones behind it are really impressive. So I'll show you that here someday shortly. So make sure if you're new, you hit that subscribe button. Check out the Mystery Amazon link down below in the description. If you wish to, hey, do that social media experiment with me, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Not just for me. I love the comments. But for everybody else, I encourage everybody to go ahead, check out the comments section down below. If you caught this right as it came out, maybe just hold on to it for a little bit and then check back in a few hours. Go down the comments section, check out the comments section, see who is all down there. Subscribe up to all those other people. Most of those people have great channels, probably better content than mine. So, yeah, do that kind of fun stuff. Continue this social media thing. Go to their page. Watch all their videos. Make sure you go to their comment section. Comment on all their videos. Do the same thing. Continue this on. I mean, at one point, we're all going to be subscribed to each other. So I encourage everybody to do that. Check me out on all the social media stuff. The patreon.com/RevtosTV. I'm barely on the Instagram.com/RevtosTV, so go over there and make fun of me about that. And I'm also on the Twitter, A with a circle, REVTO, and I barely use that too. So go over there, make fun of me on that social media platform. Check back for new videos. We'll have more popping up here very shortly. Check us out on the live streams if you want to see us go live, which will be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern. That is 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Oh man, look at this. Plants growing right into the lights. That's how inattentive I've been. But anyway, that's it for me. I got to go get some more dirt in this plant that I labeled. And yeah, and this plant will be happy, and so will I. So thanks for watching. Yeah, appreciate all you guys. Love ya, and I will catch you in the next video or live stream. So till then, later.